What's up everyone, it's your boy Namejamie, and today we are doing a Mage Training Arena guide because I think a lot of the guides out there are a little dated, so I thought I'd throw up an updated one for all the new players looking to get Bones to Peaches. Now before we start the guide, remember to subscribe. Only 4% of my viewers end up subscribing, so it means a lot to me and the channel when you go down below and hit the subscribe button. I'm halfway to 1K subscribers, so let's see if we can make it happen. Additionally, if you're looking for a community, feel free to join my Discord in the description. It lets you gain access to all my content right as it's released, ask people questions about the game if you're confused, share your achievements, and overall connect with other OSRS players. We also frequently do giveaways, so if you're in need of cash or a bond, make sure to go ahead and join. Now to start this guide, let's go over the stat requirements. You're going to need level 33 magic at the minimum to participate in all the activities. However, I highly suggest at least level 68 magic for level 5 enchant, or more preferably level 87 magic for level 6 enchant. For your gear requirements for this guide, you will need a lava battle staff, a mud battle staff, and an air staff. If you are using level 5 enchant instead of level 6, switch out the lava battle staff for a regular fire staff, but make sure to still bring the mud battle staff and air staff. Additionally, and this goes for everyone, make sure to bring graceful or any other weight reducing gear. It greatly helps but is by no means necessary. For your inventory, you want to bring a rune pouch filled with nature runes, cosmic runes, and law runes. If you don't have a rune pouch, do not worry, just bring the runes in your inventory. Now to figure out how many runes you need, I came up with rough formulas for each room. On screen now, you should see each formula. These formulas require you to know how many points you are going to need for each room, so on screen now, I'm going to show a list of all the items and the points you need in each room to unlock them. Tally up all the points you need for your specific goal, and then plug them into the formula to get your rune requirements. The only one I think needs clarifying is the Enchanting Chamber. The number you're going to want to divide by is the exact same number of the level spell enchant you're using. So if you're using level 6 enchant, divide by 6, and if you're using level 5 enchant, divide by 5, and so on. Now, one thing to note about these formulas is that they are generous. I didn't want you to run out of runes, so each formula should leave you with between 25 to 50 extra runes, depending on how many points you are going for. Since I think a majority of you are going for Bones to Peaches, I went ahead and pre-calculated the amount of runes you will need for that specific spell. Now, one additional thing that we should note before we get into the guide itself is that I recommend each of you get Runelite. This is a free to use client that I would guess 70+% of the user base uses, but if you are new to the game, you might not know about it. It has amazing plugins that help all over the game and will be unbelievably useful in the training arena. I highly suggest it, but if you don't want to get it, I will still cover how to do all this stuff without it, so don't worry. So now that we have covered all that, make your way over to the training arena itself. It is located right above the duel arena, so I suggest teleporting there with a ring of dueling and then just running over. Once you are here, enter the building and speak with the NPC roaming the main hall. Ask him for a hat. This hat will let you keep track of your points, so it's pretty useful to have. Next, head north to this room here. Here are the 4 portals which lead you to each of the individual rooms. On screen now, I'm going to share which portals take you where. Now to start, I'm going to go over the Alchemist Playground. In this room, you will want to equip your lava staff or fire staff, and we will be using nature runes, so make sure you have those. During this activity, you will be searching 8 cupboards around the room to find specific items. The items are as follows: a rune longsword, emerald, adamant helm, adamant kite shield, and leather boots. Connecting the boots back to the rune longsword are 3 blank cupboards. Now in this room, every 42 seconds, these items will change places. However, their relationship to one another, aka which ones are before and after them, will never change. Now over here in the top right hand corner of your screen, you will see a scoreboard. On this scoreboard will be the 5 items I previously listed and a number after them. These numbers indicate how many coins you will get for alching that specific item. Every 100 coins you alch in here is worth 1 point, so understandably you're always going to want to find the item worth 30 coins because it will give you the most points per elk. Additionally, this arrow that appears randomly next to one of the items means that when you elk that specific item, you don't spend any nature runes, essentially making it a free elk. Now, I never suggest going for that arrowed one unless it obviously happens to be the one worth 30 coins, or you just need a few coins to finish up your goal and you're out of runes. Now, the amazing thing about Runelite in this room is that once you search a cupboard and find an item, it will automatically show you where everything else is, making this room super easy and basically AFK. For those of you who are not using Runelite, you will have to search the cupboards to find an item, and then in your head, deduce where everything else is based on the sequence which I'm going to show on screen now. Now, as I said before, every 100 coins in this room is worth 1 point. To reclaim those points, deposit the coins you got from elking in this chute here in the end of the room. After you have done that, you've basically mastered this room, so let's go ahead and move on to the next room. Now, the next room I'm going to cover is the graveyard. In this room, you will want to equip your mud battle staff. Additionally, here we will also be using nature runes like the last room, so make sure you have them in your inventory still. Now, the goal of this room is to collect bones that are on the ground and then cast bones to bananas on them, turning them into fruit. Take this fruit and deposit it in the chute here. Every 16 fruit deposited is worth 1 point, so every inventory you should try and deposit at least 16 fruit. Now, there are 4 different types of bones on the ground you can pick up, and each one translates to a different amount of fruit when you cast bones to bananas on it. How you know how much fruit you will be getting from said bone is that down here in the lower left corner of your screen, there is a little scoreboard that will show you the bone and the number next to it. This number indicates how many bananas you will get from one of those bones. Now, during this entire process, you will be taking small amounts of damage regardless of where or what you are doing in this room. So the ideal strategy for this room is to have at least 20 open inventory spots, gather enough bones to make at least 20 fruits, and then cast bones to bananas on them. From here, eat exactly 4 of the bananas, healing you for 8 HP, and then deposit the other 16 bananas into the chute. This will give you exactly 1 point per inventory and also keep your health high. Again, what's great about Runelite in this room is that it will do the math for you in the top left corner of the screen, so you will know exactly when you have enough bones to make 20 bananas. If, however, you are not using Runelite, you will just have to do the math in your head based on the numbers in the lower right side of your screen. Now, one additional tip in this room is that if you are going for multiple items from the training arena, unlock bones to Peaches first before getting the rest of the points from this room. This is because Peaches heal 8 instead of 2, meaning instead of eating 4 bananas per inventory, you can just eat a single peach. Meaning you should collect enough bones to make 17 peaches instead of 20 bananas. Then eat 1 peach and deposit the rest into the chute. One thing to note about this method, however, is that bones to peaches cost 1 more nature rune per cast than bones to bananas. So essentially, however many nature runes you calculated you need for this room, you're going to need to double. And with this knowledge, you should be ready to tackle this room. So let's hop over to the 3rd room in the cycle. This next room is the Telekinetic Theatre room. This is personally one of my favorite rooms, and it requires you to move our Guardian around through a maze with Telekinetic Grab. To start, make sure you have an air staff equipped, and we will be using law runes, so make sure you have those in your inventory. To start the puzzle, speak to the statue in the middle and ask him to start up an individual puzzle for you. From here, you're going to need to move him around the puzzle by casting Telekinetic Grab on him. Now, the way this works is that whatever side of the maze you cast Telekinetic Grab on the statue from, it will move him towards that direction. So if you cast Telekinetic Grab on him from the east, it will move him east, and if you cast it on him from the west, it will move him west. Now, the amazing part about Runelite again in this room is that it will show you exactly where you need to stand to cast the next spell, basically making this room super relaxing and AFK. For those of you not using Runelite, you're going to want to look at the link I posted in the description. It has a list of all the possible maze setups and where you should stand in order to guide the statue through the maze. Now, after you've completed a maze, make sure to speak to the Guardian again so he can start another puzzle for you. One thing to note about this room is that every 5 completed puzzles in a row will grant you an additional 1k magic XP, 10 law runes, and 8 points instead of the regular 2. Assuming every puzzle is 8.3 law runes on average, you will get 18 telekinetic points per 31.5 law runes. Meaning, again, it is basically a 1 point to 2 law rune ratio, hence how we got the formula. And with this knowledge, you should be ready to tackle the telekinetic room. So let's hop over to our last room. This last room here in the Mage Training Arena is called the Enchanting Chamber. In this room, make sure to have your Lava Battle Staff equipped if you're doing level 6 enchant, or the Mud Battle Staff if you're doing level 5. Additionally, we will be using Cosmic Runes, so make sure you have those in your inventory. Now the way this room works is that there are piles of gems in each of the 4 corners of the room. You will want to pick up these gems from any of the piles and simply cast your enchanting spell on it. Once you have a full inventory of enchanted gems, run to the center of the room and deposit it into the chute. One thing to note is that it doesn't really matter which one of the piles you go to, they are all the exact same. Personally, I prefer the top left piles, but again, it's completely up to you. Now, some older guides out there tell you to hop around and pick up dragonstones to enchant them, since they offer double the points per enchant. However, since the update of this room, it's actually much faster to just pick right from the piles in the corners and enchant those items. The only time you want to pick up a dragonstone is if it spawns in your world near the middle, and when you are going to drop off your orbs into the chute, you can pick it up on your way back. Other than that, I really wouldn't bother with them. Now, one thing to note in this room is that in the bottom right hand part of your screen, there will be a shape indicated that is an item from one of the various 4 piles. This shape will change every 24 seconds, but essentially all it means is that if you enchant that type of item during the 24 seconds, you will get an additional 2 points per enchant. Now, although that sounds tempting, don't try and run around the room to the various piles just to get those extra 2 points. Ultimately, the time it takes to run between piles will end up being less efficient than simply sticking to one pile regardless of what it recommends. Now, one super useful tip in this room is that if you're using level 6 enchant, instead of collecting a gem and then casting enchant on it and grabbing another gem and casting enchant on it, simply collect a full inventory of gems and then spam click level 6 enchant, which is at the bottom of your spellbook already, and then use it on the last gems in your inventory. This should speed up the process a little bit, as well as just making the room a lot more bearable. And with that knowledge, you should be ready to tackle this last room. Now, one last thing to note is that when you have all the points you need, head upstairs to the 2nd floor and talk to this guy. He is the shopkeeper here, and he has all the items you wish to buy. The time it will take you to get the various items is really hard to estimate based on the difference of efficiency between players. But after doing a lot of research, the general consensus is that Bones to Peaches, on average, should take around 4 to 5 hours to unlock. Using that as a baseline, you can sort of figure out how many other hours everything else is going to take you. Personally, and this is just my opinion, unless you are an Ironman, it's really not worth it to unlock the items besides Bones to Peaches. You are better off just earning money and buying them on the Grand Exchange. For Ironman, my research suggests that unlocking the entire Infinity Set, Master Wand, Mage's Book, and Bones to Peaches should take around 50 to 55 hours. Although again, these times are going to vary a lot for everyone based on how efficient you are. One thing that might be useful is that if you are doing the Mage Training Arena, post in the comments how much time it took you to complete your item goals down below so that other people can look down there and get a rough idea of how much time it will take them. And with that, I'm going to wrap today's video up here. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Also, feel free to join the Discord in the description. We really would love to have you. And finally, remember, my name is Jamie, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace! I do it for the